We see bodybuilders with biceps and triceps never skipping a leg day and always carrying their bottles of protein with them. But going to the gym is not the only thing. You have to also watch your food intake. The right amount of food is key. Welcome back to Bodybuilding Olympians. Do you want to know the secret to getting those gains? Well, you're at the right place. But before we start, hit the subscribe button and get notified when we have a new interesting video just for you. Ready? Let's get started. Today, when we talk about any bodybuilder, the first thing that pops into our minds is that this might be fake. All that gaining of muscle might be because of steroids, pills, and protein powders. Well, understandable, but why does this happen? Wouldn't you feel that taking steroids won't be needed if you knew the secret to bulk? If everyone had the proper diet plan and the proper amount of protein, carbs, and fats, everyone would be fit. Not necessarily everyone would have that big puffed chest, but we would be fit. So what's stopping us? Maybe this is the time when we might go to old school. Remember legendary bodybuilders like DORIAN, YATES, Lou Ferrigno, SERGIO, OLIVA, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. How do you think that they were bulking up? There were no supplements, protein powder, or steroids, and that is why they're remembered even now. SERGIO mentioned in one of his interviews, look at the cows, they eat all day, and now look at the Panthers, they eat once a day. Who's in better shape? It means that it's not about the quantity, but the quality you intake. The right amount of food intake or calorie intake is very important. Taking supplements to aid your bulking is not necessarily wrong, but overdoing it surely is. Arnold, in his interview, talks about taking supplements. He says that he does take everything and anything that his body asks for. When you're eating a decided amount of calories in a day and working out, your body will try to get those calories from somewhere. So it's highly important what you're feeding and whom you're feeding. Let's talk for a moment about intermittent fasting, which has gone very viral recently. Intermittent fasting is eating only in the given time slot. After that, you're supposed to say bye-bye to the food. This is somewhat similar to what Sergio said in his interview. What happens intermittently is that you get an eating window of about a few hours. Any time slot is okay as long as you're okay with it and comfortable with it. So let's take a look at some of the old school bodybuilders and their daily routines. First up, we have Sergio Oliva. Starting up with breakfast. As we all know, breakfast is the most crucial meal of the day and should not be skipped. Have you ever seen those American teen series where the table is full of beautiful looking pancakes, juices, and berries, and the teen's son or daughter would just grab a toast and take a sip of the drink and head off to their school? Well, that is something you need to avoid. Bodybuilder Sergio Oliva Jr. talks about his breakfast routine and its importance for the day. You don't need to have a fancy breakfast for muscle gain. Eggs and oatmeal are just enough. A typical breakfast for Sergio Oliva looks like 8 egg whites, 3 whole eggs, and 1.5 cups of oatmeal. Now, if you're a beginner, the right egg whites are not for you. Bodybuilding comes with knowing what's best for your body. Just because someone else does it doesn't mean it will suit you too. Start low, keep a regular gym routine, see the changes, and change your eating habits. Sergio Oliva, a 3-time Mr. Olympia winner, talks about the secret to being a bodybuilder. He says that the biggest challenge is to follow the routine. Once you know, this is working for me, egg whites, oatmeal, that's my breakfast. But you can't get tempted by pancakes, sandwiches, or something else that comes your way. The biggest challenge is to follow what you've set for yourself. In the interview, he also discusses how his personal life affected his career. He was open about his marriage and then the divorce, and how it almost ruined his whole career right in front of him. He could see what was happening to his body, and that's when he decided to focus what he wanted out of life. Let's keep all of this aside for a second and discuss the fact that you guys still haven't subscribed to the channel. What's going on, guys? It doesn't even take that long. Stop picking your nose and just hit that subscribe button already. What Dorian Yates has to say about his diet plan. In an interview, Dorian Yates talks about off-season dieting and sleep during and off-season. Dorian Yates is an English retired professional bodybuilder who won the Mr. Olympia title 6 consecutive times from 92 to 97. He exclaimed that the sleep was the hardest part when you're dieting for a bodybuilding competition. He said that when you're dieting, when you have decided to eat this, eat that, skip this, and according to your plan, your mind will play tricks on you. It tricks you into wanting things you normally wouldn't want. For example, you've started with your diet, you're not eating anything oily or fried, and you've managed to go the whole day without thinking about oily or fried food, but just as you're about to go to sleep, your mind craves what you've been avoiding. Sometimes it craves things that you don't even like to eat, but know that these are just tricks played by your mind. Sleeping is hard because you don't know what your body will be lacking when you wake up. Maybe you'd run low on blood sugar. Maybe your heart would be all heavy like you've had a lot to drink the day before. He also talks about his calorie intake during and off season. His calorie intake had a drastic difference when there was a competition. On a daily basis, he had a calorie intake of around 4,000 and 7,000 or 6,000 calories when it was off season. During that time, his overall diet was protein like egg whites, chicken breast, protein shakes, or anything that provided the protein intake. He also focused on eating vegetables like broccoli and spinach and certain fruits, but not too much, as not all fruits are advised when you're dieting. Can you imagine eating eggs for the rest of your life? What do you think is the amount of money that bodybuilders would be spending monthly just on eggs alone? And mind you, they're eating plain eggs with nothing but salt and pepper. You're not even allowed to make any different varieties of eggs. And lastly, we have managed to take a look at Arnold Schwarzenegger's routine and diet plan. A peek into Arnold Schwarzenegger's routine and food intake. We have often heard Arnold's name when it comes to bodybuilding. What makes him so special? The 7-time Mr. Olympia winner Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about his diet plan. In a video interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger, we peek into his office refrigerator and reveal many secrets. Do you know his favorite protein drink? Well, that's between us, but don't tell anyone. It's Radler. Remember, don't tell anyone. Arnold's protein drink, if you see, is quite simple. He puts in almond milk, banana, and just gulp it up. He says that almond milk is good for muscle soreness because, well, obviously the gym does that to you. He reveals that people have a misconception about eating habits that meats and animal products are the only way that you'll get big and strong. But he realized that vegetables and plant-based products are better for health and show better results. He also revealed that during his time on set, he had absolutely no time to keep an eye on his diet. So naturally, he had no time to keep a diet. He did a lot of cardiovascular training and cut out all of the sugary products. The most important thing that he talks about is cheat days. We often feel cheat days are bad and they should come often, but that's not the case. He explains that whatever you're going to intake has to be burned off. Extra calories are not welcome. So, what have we learned so far? Bodybuilding comes with lots of patience, hard work, and determination. Once you're in that zone, don't back out. Keep at it. Defeat the mind games. Defeat the urge to eat something that you're not supposed to eat. Whether you're trying to bulk or trying to lose some, the important part is consistency. Without that, you'll never reach the goal. All the old school bodybuilders mention one thing which is common in their diet, and that is eggs and oatmeal. It's nothing fancy, nothing expensive, and it's just plain breakfast. In the beginning, staring low is the key. Know your body, know what's best for you, know how much is enough for you. Take a good rest, eat well, work out, and rest again. When you're resting, that is when your body works its wonders. As Sergio said, life keeps happening. Sometimes you may have a financial issue or personal issue, and maybe you won't want to keep a workout routine, or you might get tired. But if you truly want to do this, ignore everything and focus on being consistent with your regimen. What you're building naturally will stay with you forever. So that was all for today's video, guys. We hope you enjoyed our content. If you want more such fun and informative videos, make sure you subscribe to Bodybuilding Olympians and hit the bell icon so that you never miss on any updates from us. Also, refer to other videos on our channel and we'll see you in the next one.